Hi, everyone. I'm Tran Bowie. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, most businesses were forced to close because of COVID-19, but grocery stores were considered essential. So, a lot of people have been coming into work and honestly putting their health at risk for us. Joining me now is Bryce Jackson. He is an assistant manager at one of the major grocery store chains in the metro Atlanta area. So, we're not going to mention the name of the store, but I do want to say thank you, Bryce, thank you so much for coming into work during all this. And also thank you for joining me on your day off.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
So I love that you're outside taking advantage of this beautiful weather. So you are in a leadership position during such an unreal time in our history, managing all this, all the while also having to care for your children at home. How are you feeling?
Well, it's a lot, but I think so much has changed, and as human beings, we're resilient, and I feel like once this is all over, we'll pretty much be okay. But I pretty much take it day by day, and just make sure that I can do the little things that keep me safe and also keep my family safe as well.
So we have to address the governor announced on Monday that he is going to allow a lot of the businesses to open again this weekend, but also next weekend. Does that affect you and the grocery stores at all?
Well, I'm thinking I don't think we'll be impacted so much because people have to eat, and that's not going to change.
Mhm.
I think with people having somewhere else to go, it probably will impact sales. And to be honest with you, I know when we first started the shelter in place, I do think some people were just they knew that a grocery store was a place that they could come to get out, and just to get out, they were almost kind of casual shopping because they had cabin fever. You can
Right.
kind of tell by the shopping habits, because
Ah,
instead of coming in with a list and being specific with items and trying to get in and get out, they're kind of walking up the aisles and just and I understand it, but you know if you could be more purposeful to keep yourself safe and your family as well.
well, I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. Yeah, you're right. You're probably getting cabin fever, and you're like, where can I go? The one place that's open is a
Yeah,
grocery store. So,
yeah.
speaking of the grocery store, walk us through what it looks like for you guys inside the store. Because when I come in, it depends on what time I'm coming in. Sometimes it's really busy and I'm trying to dodge all the people in the aisles. And then other days, not very often, but sometimes when I come, it's not as crowded. So, what is it like for you?
Well, I think the main thing, I guess it depends on. This is funny. It actually depends on what time I come in. When I
Okay.
go in the afternoon, before I walk in, it's like reality sets in because I'm walking into the grocery store, I'm looking and I see customers and people and employees. Everybody has masks on and gloves on, and I think that's when it really sets in for me every day when I come in the afternoon. That here it is 2020, and everybody is masked up and gloved up, and I'm about to be around a bunch of people all day long. And
Right.
yeah, so I kind of feel it on the way in. In the morning, not so much, but we do open for the seniors between the hours of 7 and 8, Monday through Thursday, and and that's changed over time as well because to see people lined up to come inside a grocery store before, things are, totally different. Now, once you get inside the store, I never know from day to day. The first thing I go to is the toilet paper aisle and where the paper towels are to see, what kind of flack, what customers, I can let them know up front. They look, we're out of this, and maybe give them some idea of when it's coming in. Lysol, some of the crucial products, so I can just kind of get put their mind at ease to let them know that we're working on it if we don't have it in right now. But it's really different because now we actually have markers on the floor reminding people to adhere to social distancing. We have markers on the floor in the check lanes as well, and to see the customers with the mask on. Um, I don't know, it's totally different. But I will tell you this: when I see them with the mask on, it makes me feel a little bit better because I feel like they're trying to keep themselves safe and me. And if they do cough or sneeze, at least it's kind of contained
Right.
mostly within the mask instead of just spreading germs like that.
So what is your staff doing when they come in? Like, how often are they wiping things down, cleaning things up, restocking shelves?
Well, cleaning is the priority right now, and especially now we are actually required to wear masks, which I think is a good thing. Um, and I sometimes I'm still, since it's so new, reminding people, hey, look, I'm wearing the mask just over your mouth and not over your nose doesn't do you any good. You got to pull it up. I have to kind of remind them about that.
Oh, good.
And I think in general, that is what we're really stressing. Not just the cleaning because of food safety issues, but with the self checkout, the goal is with each customer, as soon as somebody comes off it, to go ahead and spray that down with some type of disinfectant. With the shopping carts, we'll have somebody in the lobby area, wiping down, or at least make sure that we have those wipes available, because those have been a good thing. And they're actually they're hard to come in. It's hard to get them now. They fly off the shelves in our store when we get them. And
Right.
hand sanitizer is like liquid gold now. But
Yeah.
we're really on top of it. And I come from the restaurant industry, so washing my hands has always been like second nature. But now I double it up. I wash it whenever I take off my gloves. I try to put the hand sanitizer on, constantly reminding people. But I feel like we're on top of it. And if everybody gets on the same page, we can eventually defeat this and get back to whatever our new normal would be.
Are you fully staffed, or are you bringing in more people?
Oh yeah. We actually we just brought in a bunch more people, and here's a trend that I'm actually seeing. Now the stores, as far as the grocery pickup and online sales, our stores, we're really seeing a boost in those, and that's going to be the focus. And just from being a regular consumer, I can actually see that raise. I can see that being a whole lot more critical as far as the money earning as far as grocery stores go,
Okay.
because especially if you have somebody who has a compromised immune system, and just being a single father with kids, just to not to have to take them in the grocery store.
Huh.
And what's going to happen is a lot of people who've never used it before, they'll see how easy it is, and I think they'll eventually kind of gravitate to that for their larger orders, because that way you don't have to get out, and just convenient. And I'm finding that with online shopping as well. I've never done it until now. I think I'm starting to get a little addicted. I kind of like it.
Well, I keep saying, as we get into this, we're getting a little too comfortable with being comfortable. So
Yeah.
definitely right. Like, it's a lot easier. So for those of you who are just joining us now, I'm talking to Bryce Jackson, who's the assistant manager of a grocery store in the Metro Atlanta area. We're talking about how COVID-19 is impacting him and his staff. And we are going to take questions. So if you would like to ask him anything, we're going to start with Lynn McDonald. Have any of your amazing staff gotten sick? So yeah. And I do have to say, have we thanked our grocery store workers lately? So have you had any illnesses?
No, not COVID related, thank goodness.
Okay.
And also we have a very strict protocol. If someone does call, we have to notify district staff, ask a series of questions, and we're really on top of that. So now if anybody calls out, we have to know. But none of my staff has gotten sick. Thank goodness. I think, other than the pollen, and now with the pollen, every time you mess around and sneeze, like, oh my goodness, what's going on? But
Sanitize the
none
area.
of my staff got sick.
Yeah. So are you testing your employees? Are you checking their temperature and doing all that as well?
That's what we're moving to. We're just waiting on equipment, and then we'll be checking temperatures of employees as they come in, and I think that's a good thing, because that way, with the virus, it's possible to be infected and not necessarily know. And one of the fever is one of the symptoms, so we can kind of be on top of that. But and that may start as soon as today. We're just waiting on the equipment, and that way we can really keep our staff safe and customers safe as well.
Oh, nice. And Lynn is saying, let me pull up her response. That's awesome. That tells us the masks are working. So yes. Let's talk about the employees. It has to be tough, because when I haven't been going to the store quite as much, but when I did last week, I can tell people are getting tired, and sometimes, customers are getting a little impatient. How is the morale? Because, we're stuck at home, and some people are complaining about being stuck at home, but you have people who are actually putting their health and their life on the line. How are they doing?
Well, you said that's the customers or the actual employees? You mean the employees?
Yes. How are your employees? How is their morale?
Well, actually, for the most part, they're actually doing pretty good. And you would think that during this time that customers would be extremely upset because a lot of stuff is flying out off the shelves, but it's actually the opposite, believe it or not. People are
Good.
more understanding, and what we're finding is before, when we would have people would come in and they may complain and want to talk to the manager because something's on the shelf. Now they understand it's a pandemic, and I have had a couple here and there, but they understand it's a pandemic. Trucks aren't running to the normal schedule. We're doing the best that we can, and if they're looking for say if you wanted a loaf of bread and you couldn't find what you were looking for, then you just go get the other kind of loaf of bread, a brand that you may have never tried, and people are being more compliant and kind of buying what we have.
Yes. And let's talk about these hot items. Every time I don't think I have personally been able to buy toilet paper. So why, yes, why so big? Do we need to be like hoarding and stocking up? And how often are you restocking? Are you getting in new shipments?
We get trucks every day. And sometimes it may be dairy, it could be perishable, but we get trucks every day. And the thing is there are a shortage on some supplies, but not food. No need to hoard food, because we are essential, so we will be open. Um, but what I have seen, like the hand sanitizer, you can that's liquid gold right now, and we still get some in, but it's gone as soon as it touches the shelves. Um, Lysol, we get it in, but it's like hot potato. It gets on the shelf, it gets out. And the most, I think, intriguing thing, and we talked about it before we actually started this interview, is the whole toilet paper. I don't know. Me and other managers, even the employees, like why everybody ran out and got toilet paper. I don't know. But to be honest with you, when you see that toilet paper getting out of here like that, then I was like, maybe I better get some toilet paper, and I bought toilet
Right.
paper. So, so it's a phenomenon. No, I guess they were thinking that we were going to be locked down and nobody could actually get out, and you would be stranded, just pretty much stuck in your house. But it's still selling. It still flies out. Then it's always the toilet paper first, then paper towels and napkins.
Okay.
and it,
Right,
it,
right. You're running for the next thing. So
yeah.
Lucy Aldridge is saying, bless you and your employees. Thank you so much, Lucy. We appreciate that and taking the time to watch today. And Lucy does have a question. Are you restricting purchases of these hot items?
Yes, on some of them, what and we had to do it just to so because like I said, we are going to be open, and we will get more in. For we limited the paper supplies to one per customer. We had to do the same with the Lysol, and then but like I said, even then, customers have been compliant, at least more so now, because they understand. And I explained to them, hey, look, we'll get more in, but right now the priority would be your hospitals, your healthcare facilities, and then we can get ours at the consumer level. And they're pretty much cool. And then they try to get, like, I guess, the next best thing. If you can't find what you're looking for, they'll kind of take what we have. And another thing I just want to mention, which would surprise me, that it's hard to keep in stock, is also the alcohol and hydrogen peroxide.
Okay, so they're now making
I
their
don't know. I guess people kind of making their own
own.
sanitizer, but I know the hydrogen peroxide is known for killing stuff, and I've seen you can make your own cleaner with that. So if you can find it, maybe that's an idea for somebody watching this.
Yeah, and I heard that people are doing vodka too. So, okay. Um, would you scroll up? Oh, I think Lynn McDonald had a question. Would you scroll up? Yes, let me see here. Lynn, I think we answered that question. Have any of your staff members gotten sick? If you do, if you wouldn't mind, if there is another question, please comment below and I'll go back and find it. I haven't seen another question, but so I would love for you, being on the inside, to give us some advice. So those of us who are at home and we want to strategize, can you give us the inside
If
scoop
I could give advice,
when
and
to
I've
go?
seen. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So give us the inside scoop on when to go and like what we really need to get and what we can wait on. Okay. So just give us the scoop.
Okay. The first advice I would say is, and I've seen customers already do this, is if you're going to go out, be purposeful in your shopping. So what that means is, it's a different time. You don't want to just before there's a grocery store like minutes away from where I live, and I have a tendency, because it's so close and convenient, I don't shop with a list. I just go grab what I need, at the time, and then I might forget. And it's been many times I've been in there 3 or 4 times a day. Now is a different time. If anything, you got to think about it. Every time that you go out and you're around a crowd of people, you're possibly exposing yourself, and you want to limit that human contact. So if you have to go to the store, take the time, make a list, get the things that you need, and then you can go ahead and be about your way. That way you limit exposure, and also you limit your exposure to the employees, to us who are in there every day. And I've
Right.
seen that, because what we've seen is our sales continue to climb, but the store is like it's not as stressful, because it's not, people aren't coming in as much, but they're being more purposed. And I
No,
would
that
say
makes
the same
sense.
thing opening up for those of you who do choose to go out there. You want to maybe apply that same type of uh type of common sense when you do get out there. If you have to go anywhere, just go ahead and be purposeful, get what you need, and go ahead and go home. Now, as
Yeah.
far as items, um, I guess I would have to tell you toilet paper, because, like I said, it's in and out. But just get you one pack, and don't stress, because we'll have more toilet paper coming in. We'll take care of you. So if you get that one pack and you can be conservative, you should be good. Um, and I would say this is what I've also noticed in our drug GM department. Sales have gone up as far as like your vitamin C. Now,
Mm,
of course, I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional, but anything that you can do to boost your immune system, I say go ahead. On top of supplements, I've seen the vitamin C. I've heard like different probiotic drinks. Get on the internet, look, do your own research. But anything that you can do that can boost your own immune system will help you fight the virus as well, on top of washing your hands and the simple things that you.
no, that's a good idea. And what's the best time? Because I sometimes I'll set my alarm. I think, well, I need to go in before everyone gets there. But I think other people have the same idea. So, is there a best time to go?
Yeah, there's enough time to go, but I would always say, typically prime time, pre pandemic was being between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Okay.
So if you get to the store anytime before then, it's not going to be a crowd. But what I've noticed now, even during our prime time, it'll be steady, but not just jam packed. When it first happened, it was like, I mean, seriously, the crowds were like the day before Thanksgiving, multiple days in a row, lines. I mean, it was kind of crazy, and I understand, because it was like we just now find out all this information is new. But now not quite as bad. But if you can come the earlier, I would say the better. And also typically we stock overnight. We do have replenishers during the day, but it's not a full staff.
Okay.
In the morning, that's when more than likely you're gonna find those items. Every now and then, we may have a truck come in and we're able to work some of that stuff to the shelf, but it's not gonna be, searching through pallets to, for specific things, more like bulk items like water, paper towels, and things like that.
Okay. Lucy's back. Avoid passing people in a supermarket aisle and increase your step count at the same time by going all the way down the next aisle and back up. Absolutely. I know sometimes it gets so crowded that I feel like I'm trying to dodge people. And this is Lisa, who runs the Roswell Snobs page. What is one item you can't keep in that surprises you?
Aside from that, not the hand sanitizer.
That's a good one.
But I would say that it'd have to be the hydrogen peroxide, because I
Hmm.
didn't think that many people would be on it. But if you Google it, it's been around forever, and it can do some pretty amazing things. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with it. And I guess with all our downtime, I guess, and we have the information superhighway, people are digging out there and they're being resourceful. But I was surprised that that stuff would get out, because about the of course the bleach and all the cleaners, but the healthcare items. And also I've noticed like the vitamin C, all that stuff, it gets out of there real fast. I'd like to see some specific numbers on it to see how we're doing, but I know it gets off the shelf quick.
Yeah, because I know people are probably now thinking about their immune system more. The
Yeah.
other thing I thought was very surprising, this is something we had discussed off camera, is that you had told us that sales have been through the roof. Of course, you're one of very few businesses that are still open during all this, but that's good news for, the staff, right?
Yes, yes. And the staff, the vibe has actually been good. I've actually worked at a total of 2 stores since this pandemic has come in, and the vibe is actually good. And we come together, and I think we have an understanding. Yeah, it's going to be busy. You're going to have your unforeseen problems, but this is what we do, and we'll be okay. And then we also have to remember that we are blessed. Even though you have to be around a lot of people, I do have a job, and I'm still able to work. and I still have checks coming in. So it's like a, it's a double-edged sword. So you have to be thankful and be careful at the same time.
Are you hiring right now?
The particular store that I'm at, I think we finally got up to staff, but yes, we all the stores have hired a bunch of people, for all departments, but primarily, the grocery pickup, because there's going to be a demand, and it is a strong demand for that now.
Okay, so if anyone out there who is looking for a job, if you want to shoot us a message, I'll get you Bryce's information. And Lucy is actually reading my mind, because this was how we were going to wrap up this segment. How can we be more helpful or considerate to the supermarket staff? Absolutely. What can we do for you? I know that you are out there, risking your health and your life. What can we do?
I would say mainly, do the little things. Wash your hands and keep yourself safe. The mask, as I said earlier, it kind of gives me a sense of calm, because I know if they cough or sneeze, it'll be contained and not just fly throughout the air. But one thing that I would say, outside of staff, one morning I saw a lady came in during the time where the senior citizens were shopping, and I mean, she was moving real slow, older lady. She had to get in a motorized cart. And she actually was on had an oxygen tank, no mask. She did have the gloves on. And I asked her, I was like, you don't have anybody, that can come grocery shop for you? And she said no. And I ended up getting her information. I need to follow up with her. But for those of you, if you have a neighbor or somebody who's in that type of shape, yeah, we're open for the seniors, but really she shouldn't even be out, doing even grocery shopping. You're on an oxygen tank. If with this whole thing, let's help each other. If you see something like that, not saying put yourself in harm's way, but if you can do something little, pick up a few things for somebody like that who's already slow getting around and on an oxygen tank, or just compromised health, an older person who doesn't have a support network, help that person out.
All right. Well, I'm going to try not to get teary-eyed, because I appreciate how, and Lisa says it best, thank you for all you are doing. It is so appreciated. It really is. And even during this time, to hear you, we're asking you, do you want help? Do you want a handout? You're saying no. You just, we need to take care of ourselves and stay safe and help other people. So I love that. I love the heart that you put into that. And Mariam is saying thank you for all you do. So for those of you out there who are watching, I'm sure that you're being quite lovely in the stores, but ask yourself, when's the last time you thanked a grocery store worker? Because I know it is frustrating, and we do appreciate you. Lucy is saying, would you or other supermarkets accept volunteers? Is that an option?
I don't know. And like I said, at my level, I can't really make that call. The only thing I would think about it would be, I guess, a level of liability if one of them were to get injured or hurt. Just thinking, because I know I've had to do with several incident reports before, but it's got to be some type of way. And actually, that's actually a great question, and maybe I could talk to some people and we can actually get something done, because I've been in stores where you hear people talk community all the time, and it really does make a difference. And really, in order to defeat this, that's really what it's going to take. Look out for yourself, and whenever you get a chance to pay it forward, and if you are able, now is the time.
And with that, and what Joyce is saying, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for all you do. We just want you to thank your entire staff, because I know this is not fun to be out there when we're being told not to go, and you are putting your health at risk. And thank you for joining us on your day off. It's a beautiful day, so I hope you get to take advantage of that. And it was so nice to meet you.
All right. Thanks so much for having me, and I appreciate it. Everybody be safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching.